Welcome back. I'm glad you're still with us. I'm live at 1. We return to transport matters now, and the government has finally licensed 7 bus companies and Matatu Saccos to operate their fleets at night. The government had until now banned all night travel by public service vehicle operators over safety concerns. Transport Cabinet Secretary Engineer Michael Kamau says the operators met some stringent requirements that will enhance the safety standards of their buses. Speaking during the official unveiling of the names of the freshly licensed travel operators, Engineer Kamau revealed that the number of deaths through road accidents by 31st May 2014 had reduced by 20% compared to the same period last year. To matters land now, and Lands Cabinet Secretary Charity Ngilu this morning made an impromptu visit to the Thika Lands Registry and announced that she will be launching a cleanup of the office. The Cabinet Secretary heard complaints from residents regarding the alleged forgery in the Lands Office. Thika Lands Registry is regarded as one of the most inefficient in the country.
Come here, do what you can. Solve the problem of Thika, and God will bless you wherever you go.
Lazima tuangalie kwa sababu kwa miaka mingi files zimewekwa vibaya sana. Ndio tunataka tuweka vizuri ili mkija hapa mtu anaenda tu kutoa file anaipata, unahudumiwa na unaenda.
Shida ingine kubwa, madam, ni green cards are kept in bahashas. You see, now if you look, if you check, I hope you have gone through, if you check and find that these green cards are in the bahashas, how can they be able to get a search? That's too difficult.
They can't.
They can't.
All right, let's recap a story we brought to you earlier. Over 5,000 residents of the hunger-stricken Ensegor village in West Pokot County yesterday received relief food from the county government to help them deal with the adverse effects of the drought that has hit the area. West Pokot Governor Simon Kapchain officiated the dispatch of over 2,500 bags of maize, 500 bags of beans and 8,000 litres of cooking oil from Kapenguria town for distribution to the remote parts of central Pokot.
Jambo tena, mipango ni ya dharura, lakini serikali ya kaunti na viongozi wote tuko na mikakati ya kuona kwamba tuko na suluhisho ya hapo baadaye ya kudumu, kwamba watu wetu waweze kutumia mito zale ziko, na sisi kama serikali tusaidie hawa pia tukishirikiana na serikali kuu.
Let's take a look at the business. And tomato farmers across the country are now facing the risk of losing millions of shillings in the wake of the spread of a leaf pest that could have a devastating impact on the crop. Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries Felix Koskei has confirmed the outbreak of the pest, which has spread to 5 counties so far. Dennis Otieno reports.
Tomato farmers in Kirinyaga, some parts of Meru, Kabete and Loitoktok are facing a threat that could sink them into losses. This is following the confirmation by the government of the outbreak of a pest that could inflict massive damage on the current crop.
There's an insect called Tuta absoluta, which is a very dangerous insect. It mines the leaves of tomatoes.
The pest, which was initially detected in Isiolo County, is said to have originated from Ethiopia. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Felix Koskei has however said that the government has instituted measures that include continued surveillance and training of tomato farmers on use of appropriate pesticides to combat the pest.
We have set up the early warning systems. We have engaged quickly the collaboration between ourselves and other stakeholders like CARI and the University of Nairobi to do the research part of it. Early warning systems is to ensure that we get to know where it is early enough before they do the extraction.
The tomato is Kenya's third biggest horticultural crop by production, fetching about 14 billion shillings every year. Dennis Otieno, Citizen Business.
Members of county assemblies around the country have been put on notice over their excessive expenditure after it emerged that they have spent over 10 billion shillings on offices and aids at ward level. According to the Transitional Authority, the funds have been spent illegally and the MCAs will be required to refund the cash. The Commission on Revenue Allocation has also added its voice to the debate, warning against excessive spending by MCAs and county officials on external trips. CRA says the next budget will set a maximum spending limit for county assemblies to curb the excesses.
Frankly, we think these trips are almost meant to make money. Personal benefit, not for the community. And this is very, very unfortunate. So our message is that the Senate have to move in. It is the Senate's role to check on the budgets and where there are excesses to arbitrate. Because whenever governors come up and say this is too much, they are threatened with impeachment. So we expect the Senate to really have this oversight, not only on the executive, but on the county assembly. Otherwise, we are headed in the wrong direction.
Let's look at the currency markets now. In the Kenyan shilling has eased slightly against the US dollar, but traders said it was likely to trade in a tight range in coming days, with support expected from the Central Bank of Kenya. At the opening of the currency market today, the local unit traded at an indicative rate of 87 shillings and 41 cents buying, 87 shillings and 58 cents selling to the US dollar. Against the euro, the shilling stood at 119 shillings and 27 cents buying against 119 shillings and 52 cents selling. To the sterling pound now in the Kenyan shilling is trading at an indicative rate of 146 shillings and 90 cents buying, at 147 shillings and 26 cents selling. Regionally now, in the local unit appreciated slightly versus the Tanzanian shilling to trade at 19 shillings and 15 cents buying and 19 shillings and 31 cents selling, but shed off 17 cents to the Ugandan shilling to trade at 29 shillings and 11 cents buying to 29 shillings and 28 cents selling. That's business, and Wahiro Moora joins us now with the sports. The World Cup starts on Thursday, but I don't feel the buzz or the energy around it. What's going on?
I guess a couple of challenges in Brazil, you know, with the riots and everything that's been happening, but also a feeling that it's a bit far from Kenya. Unlike South Africa, where it was easier to market as corporates because you knew that Anne Kiguta could then win a trip to South Africa. But Brazil's a bit far and it's difficult. But on Saturday, we did a story about women and the World Cup. Two groups of women this coming Thursday, those who support their male friends and family and those who won't. Which category do you fall in?
I'll be the group in the kitchen cooking, I think. I'm not the World Cup.
That's a third category. Anyway, 95% of our bulletin today is all about the World Cup, and we kick off with that after this short break.
Afternoon. Thank you for making time to join us on Citizen Live at 1. I am Ann Kiguta. President Uhuru Kenyatta is today touring Nyamira and Kisii counties as part of his visit to the Greater Nyanza region. The president is expected to first address residents at Kenyanya grounds and later at Menyenya Primary School. He will then head to Kisii School, where he will be the chief guest at the institution's 80th anniversary celebrations. He will address residents at Keroka and Embu markets. After the Kisii School event, the president will address wananchi at Suneka Market. Well, the National Council of Churches in Kenya, in partnership with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission and several other religious groups, are holding a 2-day national and county dialogue conference dubbed Pamoja Conference that seeks to foster unity among Kenyans.
But he has led us within the National Council of Kenya, and this is an opportunity we have to discuss this.
I think time has come for other Kenyans to take charge of the destiny of this country and inform political debate, because we've given politicians institutions and fora where they can conduct political discourse without necessarily inflaming Kenyans and creating tremendous anxiety as is happening.
The issue of the government and the opposition is not an issue for this convention, to the best of my understanding, at the moment. We have an issue which is absolutely different from politicians. We don't want to allow anything that will divert us. Us is to bring the oppositions and the governments together to speak with one voice.
The 2014-2015 financial budget will be read on Thursday. Now, ahead of the big day, we begin a series of features that will spotlight various aspects of the budget. And today, we speak to a cross-section of Kenyans about their expectations.
Kenya is described as a working nation, even though work remains the biggest illusion for majority of Kenyans. She's also described as a walking nation most times, even though, sadly, most people usually know not where they are going, if not out to look for that initial illusion: work. Is there light at the end of the economic tunnel, and are Kenyans optimistic of what the future holds after Kenya's budget is read Thursday?
Naitwa Nancy Wangoi na nimetoka Kirinyaga. Kwa hii soko hatuonangi pesa mingi hivyo. Kama siku moja huwa tunasukuma 500 hivi. Sasa ningetaka Uhuru atuhurumie. Juu hata kuleta hizi vitu kwa soko tunaletewa na gari, na hiyo gari inatulipisha bei kali sana juu ya mafuta. Inasema mafuta iko juu.
Nilianza mwaka wa 74 na mpaka sasa sijafaulu chochote, niko pale pale. Naweza kupata kama 200 na vitu viko juu. Sasa hiyo 200 haitoshi kitu. Sasa ingine inabidi nilale njaa. Kwa biashara nikasomesha watoto, lakini hawana kazi. Niko nao kwa nyumba. Niko na watoto 8. Siku hizi biashara imeshuka. Haiko kama zamani. Kwa sababu vitu vimekuwa ghali.
Naitwa Mr. Yusuf Lipunga. Mimi na watoto 4. Na nikiangalia maisha pale nilipofikia ni mazuri kweli sana, lakini sasa ni vile vitu tu kidogo vipunguzwe bei. Sasa serikali, mimi kusema kweli nataka ipunguze bidhaa chini ya vitu.
Vyakula tunavyouziwa mahali hapa vyote havitoki hapa, vinatoka sehemu za kitani. Kwa hivyo jinsi ambavyo tunavyopata hivi vyakula na tunauziwa bei kali ni transport ambayo inatumika njiani.
It is the common language that continues to define the Kenyan fabric, the need to see goods and commodities reduced. But will their wishes be reflected Thursday?
And do watch, of course, special coverage of that budget reading this Thursday on Citizen TV. Let's move on to some unfortunate news. And just this year alone, 27 people have died in road accidents at the Salga Black Spot on the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway. Now, just last week, 7 people died in separate accidents at that same area. So just what is it about the spot that makes it prone to accidents? Esther Kahumbi spent a day at the Salga Black Spot and seeks to answer that question.
They are the landmark for travelers on the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway. The hills of Salga, that indeed the small town of Salga is not very far off. The hills also serve as a sign that soon the vehicle would be on one of the most dangerous sections of the road, a 20-kilometer stretch from Salga town to Kibuchi, which lies on top of the hills. Just this year alone, 27 people have died in road accidents here, and the evidence still lies strewn every few meters as you progress onwards. Just what is it about Salga that causes this many accidents? Kennedy Siaya is a sugarcane vendor along the highway. He has worked here for the last 3 years. He has witnessed most of the accidents as they occur, and is more often than not one of the first responders.
By the way, unasikia kuna wakati unaweza sikia labda umepigiwa simu magari zikipita, yani ya ambulance zikipita. Sasa hapo unajua kuna shida imetokea upande wa Salga.
Hii si tumezoea. Hata juzi hapa unaona iko ikona. Juzi ilikuwa Sunday.
The accident they speak of is one that killed all 4 passengers in a saloon car that collided head-on with a lorry Monday morning. The driver of the vehicle survived the accident and is said to have been overspeeding and overtaking carelessly.
Tuseme hapa shida kubwa ni overspeeding.
So frequent and fatal are accidents on this road that the National Transport and Safety Authority deployed a patrol vehicle to assist traffic police officers man the road. Just this week alone, 206 vehicles have been impounded and drivers fined for speeding. From a thicket along the highway, NTSA officers stand guard with their speed gun.
Our threshold is 80 kilometers per hour. Yes. So if you see it blinking red, it means now that vehicle is doing more than 80. Yeah.
The speed gun is fitted with a camera that records the speed of an oncoming vehicle.
You can see 113. Stop. That one is 115 kilometers per hour.
And as soon as they detect a vehicle that is moving faster than the required speed,
kuna Toyota VX KBU 020C.
They quickly alert traffic officers on the roadblock further down the road.
So I learned in the school, the personal car.
No, in a dual carriage.
But according to residents and NTSA officers, the problem runs deeper.
Hii matrela wakipanda pale kwa Mariamu, wakitemuka pale kidogo sasa wanachapa free. Hapa ni free. Kwanza jioni.
Kutoka huko kwa Jesu juu. Wakisha weka free, hakuna vile ata control hapa.
There's a crime because once the driver is not in control of that vehicle. Anytime you free wheel, you are not in control of your vehicle.
The problem is compounded further since if a vehicle is freewheeling, the speed gun cannot detect the speed at which it is moving.
Yeah, that one is freewheeling. They siphon the fuel, they sell at various shopping centers, they proceed with the journey. Now in the process of trying to recover that distance, which they would have consumed with that fuel, they occasionally freewheel.
Traffic officers here collect almost 500,000 shillings every month in fines from speeding drivers, but the traffic offences on this road don't stop at speeding.
These vehicles are posing to be matatus. They are operating as matatus. The vehicle is a private vehicle. The speed limit is, for a private is 100 on a highway. And you see, when this vehicle is doing at 100 kilometers per hour, and it is carrying passengers, it is also a very risky venture.
Since the ban on night travel for public service vehicles, owners of private cars have been cashing in, ferrying people across towns. According to residents and traffic police officers, the solution to the Salga accident crisis is twofold.
Malori hizi sitengewe barabara yao yenye watakuwa wakienda kando peke yao. Hii magari ndogo iende kando peke yao.
Sinivo hizo malori zipite huku msituni. Unajua ikimiss inapiga miti. Badala kuonga magari zingine ndogo ndogo huku.
This road, because it has got no signs, to elect signs along this highway so that we can reduce the accidents. Maybe somebody coming from Sudan, from Uganda, they don't know this road.
Now what we intend to do is to completely separate the two and create a dual carriageway so that we separate the trucks that are coming down and the ones that are climbing.
And we'll be returning to transport matters a little later, but now we want to focus on Isiolo County, which serves as a strategic gateway linking northern and southern Kenya. Isiolo County, which is a largely semi-arid area, is currently experiencing tremendous growth on many fronts, especially in the agricultural sector, following the introduction of devolution. In our continued series focusing on progress in the counties 1 year after the administrations were set up, our reporter Gatete Njoroge shines the spotlight on Isiolo County.
Isiolo town serves as the administrative center for Isiolo County. The county, with a population of over 143,000 people, lies in the former Eastern Province and has two constituencies, Isiolo North and Isiolo South. This is what introduces us to a county that some years back experienced challenges due to its climatic conditions. But at the moment, the county is on a path of recovery after the county government prioritized crop production away from its traditional economic mainstay of livestock keeping. Already, 10 tractors have been acquired for this shift.
So far, we have started about 3 major irrigation projects, and these are in Iresaboru and Iresaboru, Malkadaka, and Gafarsa. So these irrigation projects, we are targeting about 800 acres of land. We are also supporting irrigation projects in town, in Isiolo town, and this also is targeting about 450 acres of land.
The county is now planning to have 30,000 acres of land under irrigation in the next 5 years.
Hii ndio season yangu ya 3 tangu nianze mambo ya ukulima kuvuna, na nimevuna kitunguu mara 2, na mara yote 2 nimepata kilo 1400 mara 2, takriban yote ni kama kilo 1800.
Na ninashukuru tangu tuanze serikali mpya wametupa nguvu na wananchi wamejitoa kusema watalima ili waweze kusaidia maisha yao. Na vile vile county wametupa moyo ya kusema tuko na nyinyi na tunataka kuonesha nyinyi ya kuwa wote ni wakulima.
The livestock sector, which majority of residents rely on, has also been catered for, with the county government having built an abattoir that is nearing completion. Once complete, about 100 goats and sheep, 200 cows and 100 camels will be slaughtered and processed here in one day. The ongoing construction of terminals at the Isiolo International Airport is an indication that the county government is warming up to international investors. The airport is part of the Vision 2030 project that was launched together with the Lamu Port Southern Sudan Ethiopia Transport Lapset Corridor project. The county has also embarked on the construction of a public park in Isiolo town that will ensure residents have a place to rest. But traders in the area prefer expansion of the current market as a matter of priority.
Wale watu wanauza hapa hivi tuko wengi sana. So ningewaomba watutengeneze na tutengeneze mahali pasuri ili tuwe tuko na usalama, na ukiacha kitu yako unajua iko sawa.
Some of the challenges facing residents here are construction of health facilities targeting remote areas. Of particular interest is helping expectant mothers.
Shida tuko nayo mingi sana. Kwanza sisi hapa ni kina mama, hatuna hospitali ambayo tunaweza jisaidia wakati kujifungua. Tunakuwa na shida zaidi.
Youths too have their own needs.
Aswasika vijana tunateseka sana kwa sababu saika hatuna kazi,
tunajaribu kuwasukuwasu kwa siku hivi. Kwa hivyo hatujafanikiwa haswa kazi ya mwisho wa mwezi ambayo unaongojea pesa ambazo zimeshikana.
We meet this group of pastoralists who have brought their cows and camels to drink water in this Gabela bridge. Dry water canals are a clear indication that water provision remains a key challenge to the residents.
Tuko na shida ya maji hapa, pungufu wa maji. Hii mto unaleta maji kidogo sana. Na mifugo ile iko hapa mchungu mzima. Shamba ile iko hapa, ardhi ni kubwa sana, maji haitoshi. Karibu hata wakati ile vita itokee kwa sababu ya maji.
Maji hata shiko shida, maji ni kidogo sana. Sababu ya sio maji na saka bingi hiyo mali mingi na kunye. Kiko shida maji saizi.
A challenge that the county minister in charge of water acknowledges.
We have targeted to change all our operation systems for water operation systems from diesel generated to solar and wind powered engines. This again is going to be cheap in terms of operations, and people are going to afford.
Road network in the area is also a key challenge. Residents here want the roads upgraded to serve them better, but the current border dispute between the Isiolo Meru counties are impeding development.
The reason why the county government is also giving giving a deaf ear to some of the woes and problems of this school is not very clear to us. I don't know whether it is still based on the conflict of the boundary, or whether it is planning that has not been done for this school.
Despite the setbacks, the county has already rolled out plans for the next financial year, with residents who are yet to feel its benefit hoping that the year ahead will be bright. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen at 1.
And now we move to West Pokot, where over 5,000 residents of the hunger-stricken Sigor village in West Pokot County yesterday received relief food from the county government to help them deal with the adverse effects of the drought that has hit the area. West Pokot Governor Simon Kapchain officiated the dispatch of over 2,500 bags of maize, 500 bags of beans, and 8,000 litres of cooking oil from Kapenguria town for distribution to the remote parts of Central Pokot. Kapchain, however, assured the residents that the county government is working on more permanent solutions to the perennial hunger problem in the area by setting up irrigation schemes and drilling more boreholes. We move on now to Embu, where the Deputy Governor Dorothy Nditi has urged embattled Embu Governor Martin Wambora to opt for dialogue to resolve wrangles in the county government instead of rushing to the courts. Speaking during a Thanksgiving ceremony hosted in honor of nominated MCA Lois Mbuya in Kirie, Mbere North Sub-County, Nditi did say that the county might not realize the benefits of devolution because of the continued fighting between leaders in the region. The Deputy Governor reminded leaders they joined politics to change people's lives and not to line their pockets. Nditi also cautioned those spreading hate messages against one community living in the region that all residents of Embu County had a right to live there. And it's time for me to take a short break on Citizen Live at 1. I'll be back with more news after these messages. Don't go away.